Hey, thanks for watching this video. For those of you all who don't know me, I'm Angela Naomi, and if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll tell you some more stuff about myself and how you can get in contact with me and learn some more about the online marketing industry. But let's just jump into the core of this video because I'm sure you're wondering by the title, how was she laid off but her company wasn't doing any layoffs? Um, well, you see, what had happened was I was um I was a teacher. I was a dance teacher for preschool age students, and I traveled around in my area and even outside of my area to teach dance in different daycare centers. I loved it. It was so much fun. I enjoyed seeing the kids every morning. Um, Even with my daycare center that was the furthest away, what time did I get home? Well, farthest away. By 1 o'clock. I was home by 1. I didn't even work on Fridays. I worked Monday through Thursday. Or did I work Fridays? No, I don't recall working any Fridays. I'm pretty sure it's just Monday through Thursday. I'm off work by 1 o'clock. I was paid nicely. I had full control of this business. I was able to add on to different daycare centers and, just grow the program. The only thing I could not do was change the prices. I didn't have that control. The main company set those prices. And like I said, I loved it because kids, yeah, kids can be mean, but this age group of preschool, they're not mean at all. They're just the sweetest little things. I remember at one daycare center, these kids, actually, it's the same one that has my other favorite story too. So I'll tell you two little funny stories. So, well, three. Okay. Well, one daycare center, it was at a church, and the kids all discovered they had belly buttons. They were so cute. I got a belly button. They were like, what is this, a belly button? I'm like, yes, it's a belly button. Do you have one? Yes, we all have one. And all of them start lifting up their shirts and they're like, we got belly buttons. And then there was another time with these kids, and like I said, it's a Christian daycare center. It's attached to the church. So one of the little girls tells me that she had nightmares about the lions. And I was like, what lions? And she's like, the lions that Reverend whatever was talking about. And I'm like, what was he talking about? Why was he talking about lions? What in the world? And then she goes, they were going to eat the guy. And I said, oh, Daniel and the lion's den. And I'm thinking to myself, I do not remember this story. I don't remember how it ends. Did God come in and say, girl? I didn't remember. So I was just like, well, those lions were never going to eat Daniel because God was protecting him. I had to go back and look that story up to remember what happened. And also at this center, there was a sweet, sweet little boy who was in the dance class, and his mom had put him in the dance class because at birth he had a little trouble. He lost some oxygen when he was born, and the doctors were like, hey, he's going to be a little slow. And he was. And I love seeing his progression, though. When I got to him in September, he couldn't even balance on one foot. He couldn't hop from like one foot to the other or hop on one foot. These are all developmental skills that preschoolers should have. But this was September. Come May, he could skip. He could hop on one foot, 2 feet, hop from one foot to the other. He could, manage to maneuver around in different obstacles. It was really great to see his growth. And I was there on Wednesdays, and he would say to me, he'd go, I have to do his voice. These children were so Southern. Miss Angie? I said, yes. You know what today is? I said, yes, it's Wednesday. He goes, you want to know what Wednesday means? I'm thinking, it's dance day. I was like, well, what's Wednesday? He goes, it's church night. Jesus loves me. I said, okay, baby. Such sweet children, and I loved this job. I loved it. But what was happening in the area was there were layoffs at a lot of the companies that these parents worked for. They were laying them off, not by like, oh, 10 of you have to go or 20 of you have to go. No, they're shutting down entire departments. They're closing entire factories, and they were moving these factories to Mexico, India, and China. Parents lost everything. There was one day I was at one of the daycare centers, in another town that's really small. It's outside of Greensboro, North Carolina. And the kids were on the playground and they see me because I was dropping off flyers for them to be able to register for the program. And they're like, Miss Angie, Miss Angie, Miss Angie. I love how little Southern children say my name because it turns into, instead of Miss Angie, it turns into Miss Angie. And so, Miss Angie, Miss Angie. I'm like, hey, babies, what's going on? How are you? And one little girl has her registration form from the week before folded up in her pocket, and she pulls it out and she gives it to me. She's like, Mama said we don't have any money, but maybe if you come back next month, we'll have some money. So the other kids start chiming in too about, their parents not having money, not having money, not having money, not having money. And one little boy says, well, my mommy was crying because she doesn't have a job. And another boy perks up and he's like, well, my daddy was crying because he doesn't have a job and mommy doesn't have a job either. And the other kids were saying, yeah, I've seen my parents crying and they don't have jobs. Well, why don't they have jobs, Miss Angie? And I'm like, oh, and I was like, well, I said, grown-ups will figure it out. Grown-ups will figure it out. I said, and leave your papers in your cubbies and your parents can sign you up for the program. Well, to make a long story short, what ended up happening is I had to close down my region of that program because we catered to daycare centers. We taught in daycare centers. Who puts their children in daycare centers? The working class. People who have to work. Not mommies and daddies who choose to work. Not, mommies or daddies who could stay at home and live off one parent's income. Mommies and daddies who are working long, hard hours. And they're just, in these particular areas, there were not enough parents keeping their jobs for me to keep that program going. And it got to the point where I was even, kind of running out of money myself to be going around and trying to pitch this program to different daycare centers because people's money was getting funny. So I lost the job. I wasn't even working for these companies. That's the real trickle down economics. One company leaves and they go overseas for whatever reason, and their workers are left without jobs. When mommies and daddies can't work, the first thing they usually cut is extracurricular activities for the children. And my program was a pure luxury. There was absolutely no necessity for that program. So the parents cut it. It's $45 a month. That's an extra $45 back into the household. So, now that it's 2017, actually I realized this a couple of years after, when I was working that program, it's also the time our economy tanked and got really bad. And that's when I started waking up to realize, maybe I need to think of other ways to supplement my income. Maybe I need to look into things that people can't take from me. Maybe I need to look into things that aren't going to be outsourced, something that I can control. Doesn't mean that it's going to be my main and only source of income. It just means that it's going to be an additional source of income. And that's honestly how I started digging more and more into working online. Lost this whole job, back in 2008. And it was a great opportunity because I was on an 80-20 commission with the company. I had the 80. I had unlimited income. But the problem was I couldn't grow that program in that area. Until this day, that program's not there anymore. And that's just the demographics of the area. And it's all right. Lesson learned. But again, like I said, it opened up my eyes to realize, okay, you need to look at something else. And so that's what I started doing. I'm going to wrap this up, bring it to a close. Thanks for enjoying story time with me. As always, just check below. Go to my Facebook page. It's Angela Naomi, facebook.com/AngeNaomi8. And the link is down there in the bottom. If you're interested in generating an income online, all you have to do is go to, which website do I want to send you to? You want to know something? I'll send you to the other one later. Just jump right in. Go to weeklycashout.us. Again, that's weeklycashout.us. The link is in the bottom. Like and share this video because, well, it's a good story, first of all. Second of all, just like and share it, all right? Have a good one. And I'll come back with more videos later.